Welcome to the Managing the Smart Mind podcast with your host, Coach Kramer. This is episode 71, Why It's So Hard to Start Something New. Hello, wonderfully smart human. Welcome to the fourth mini-cast in this series that gives you a sneak peek into my new membership community, Shamelessly Smart. So far, we've covered finding your big thing, impact projects, and your brain being a bit of a brat. And today, we look at the two main reasons it's hard to start something new. Now, here's number one. Your brain will always try to protect you from unpleasant emotions. It's just wired that way. It sucks, I know, but we've just got bad hardware for the world we're living in. And your brain is a bit like an overprotective mother. It wants to smother you with safety rather than let you roam in a dangerously unpredictable world. So as soon as you want to do something you've never done before, it will come up with 1,000 reasons why you shouldn't, and you should stay right at home, in bed preferably, under the covers. So this is why so many people never start doing that thing they desire to do. And if you're wondering, is it really like that for me? If you're not sure, then I have a thought experiment for you. Imagine giving everything up and moving to the south of Spain to become a goat herder, a cave painter, a refugee worker, or whatever takes your fancy. And then notice what your brain does. Just sit back and observe. It will immediately start creating all the reasons and arguments why this is an incredibly bad idea. And it does the same thing when you want to try anything new, though in some cases it may not be as overt, right? So you have to be prepared and you have to be ready to let it just prattle on whilst you go on doing the scary thing. So that's reason number one, right? Your brain just is not up for it. Just stick with the status quo already. Now, the second reason it's so hard to start something new is your inner critic. You've probably started things in the past and not finished them, or bought courses and not even opened them, right? They might still be sitting on your hard disk. Or you may have started something and failed and then beat yourself up about it. Now, failing is uncomfortable enough as is. It can be a very unpleasant emotion, even if we don't add shame and self-reproach to it. But if on top of not succeeding, you're also being a giant asshole to yourself, then it can become pretty unbearable. And if this is how you tend to treat yourself, you're probably terrified of what you'll do if this new venture or membership you sign up for doesn't work out the way you hoped. You know your inner critic is going to use it to remind you of all the ways in which you think you suck. And that is definitely something to avoid. But staying where you are, staying in your comfort zone, isn't the right way to avoid it, because that will eventually take all the joy out of your life. You're a human being with an amazing brain. You want to be trying new things. So instead of avoiding, you have to stop beating yourself up. And contrary to popular opinion, giving yourself this stern talking to is not the way to success. It's actually very harmful. If it was the thing to do, then lots of people would be doing the things because they're giant assholes towards themselves all the time. Instead of being like this horrible taskmaster, you need to have your own back. You need to be loving and understanding and supportive when you try something and it doesn't go as expected. You have to treat yourself like an understanding parent, right? So that you, when something does go wrong or goes differently than you thought, you can just lick your wounds, rest, recover, and then get up to try it all over again. And this is how we roll in Shamelessly Smart. You will learn how to manage that scared part of your brain, how to silence that inner critic and start talking to yourself in a loving, constructive way. And that in itself is an invaluable skill to learn. So it's time to sign up. We have our first kickoff call this Monday. So go to www.coachkramer.org/shamelessly-smart if you haven't already, and then shoot me an email to say, hey, sign me up already. And whatever you do, never, ever again be an asshole to yourself.